Connection with Shade Network activated. Audio file download commencing. Files marked extremely sensitive. Strategic Homeland Division only. Agent commencing transmission.
What's up, agents? You listen to episode 196 of SITREP Radio, giving you the news and other happenings in the world of the Division 2. This week, we're talking all about the Warlords of New York expansion that finally got released. I was waiting for some woos, but it's been a while, so I'm sure everyone's woo! There we go. But first, my name is Mike, and joining me as always is my co-host Roberts.
Hello.
Woo! And Luke.
Hi.
Woo!
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, double woo.
Yes.
I don't know why we did that. And anyone that was listening is literally just turned off in their car, or is just getting looked at really randomly by people walking by. Woo! Anyway, we hope you and these guys here have had a great week. And welcome to any new listeners of the show. Welcome back to the Division if you haven't played in a while. And yeah, I guess straight into it. Have we had a good week so far, boys? This is the awkward pause moment where everyone's trying to decide.
You didn't let us
who's
pause.
gonna. I'm trying not to, because those cheeky lots.
Yeah, but is it really an episode of SITREP Radio if there's no awkward pause?
I mean, technically, no.
Well,
I mean,
there was one.
Well, not really. We can get that filled in.
That's what she said.
Yes. It's started already. But yeah, good week, Rob.
Yeah, had a lovely week. Thank you.
Did you?
Yeah.
Then that's as much detail we'll get from Rob this week. Over to you, Luke. How's your week been?
Fine.
Wow. We've got the dictionary or thesaurus out this week. I've had a pretty good week. This is my first full week at work in 5 years. 5 years?
5 years. Holy
5
shit,
years.
dude.
Yeah, 5 weeks. Last 5 weeks.
Are you feeling better? Has the coronavirus disappeared from your lungs?
Yeah, so I think I might pop down to the shops after we've recorded this and go get myself a crate of Corona.
What?
I mean, do I have your
toilet roll, right?
Is it going to give me bump gravy and then...
You won't be able to buy a toilet roll.
You won't be able to buy a toilet roll.
Why? I went to the shop earlier and bought toilet roll.
You're lucky then.
Yeah, you're one of the lucky ones. You're a panic buyer.
No, I'm not. I went and I did a full shop, like normal. I mean, there was a point where everyone was running around. I just carried on like normal and just,
running around.
Was it like Supermarket Sweep? You remember that program? With Dale
No,
Winton?
I was just thinking, like, can you imagine just going to the shop and you're just doing your normal shopping and then you're like, what is going
There's some
on?
old lady
and then it's
around
like
just grabbing all the medicine.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking it's like a scene from Jingle All the Way while they're trying to get the Turbo Man toys and fighting over it.
I love that movie.
Like Black Friday on it in America in any electrical store.
Yeah, I don't think that happens as much now, does it?
No.
The British version's even worse though. No, it's not even worse. It's Black Friday. They open the doors and like there's one person that walks through,
and he works there
because they dropped all the prices by like a penny or something. It's like, hey guys, we got a sale on.
Remember the first year that Black Friday was really big in this country, though, where people were writing in like Asda's for TVs that got 50 quid off or whatever.
Yeah, but then the shops got wise of it and they raised their prices before Black Friday, and then they just put it back to the normal price. And that's a sale.
But that's all the electronics. If you could, because like, what was it, last year or the year before, I was buying bits for a PC and I was like, I'm going to keep an eye on like the cost of stuff pretty much like 4 weeks before Black Friday, and nothing changed. They were like, this is the same price it was 3 weeks ago, and it's in the sale. I'm like,
20% off. Nothing.
That's a load of shit. Yeah. Anyway, this isn't the Patreon episode. Can we talk less about the real world pandemic and the pandemic that is currently being undertaken in New York?
It wouldn't be a pandemic if it's just New York.
Worst segue ever.
Well,
plus, it's completely and utterly wrong. Still not a pandemic. Might be a mild annoyance.
What, the one in New York and DC, or the one here?
No, the one in New York and DC.
What, that's a mild annoyance?
Well, yeah, 2 cities across the entire planet.
That we know
of. Jinx.
That's all the information we've got to work with, and everywhere else is fine, apparently. Can you prove otherwise?
Awkward pause. Tick. No.
You're not supposed to say anything during the awkward pause, Mike.
Oh, Mike!
God. I'm just going to start calling them out. Is that better? But yeah, we've kind of been back playing The Division again. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but doing
that's all I played this week.
I'm glad to hear that. Luke,
hi.
Did you play the expansion? I've got to ask you this because I know it was 92 days?
Oh fuck! Who the fuck would count that?
Well, you almost got you got.
I got removed. The game removed me as our clan leader and gave it to Rob because I hadn't been on the game in God knows how many days. They were like, no. Not yours anymore. Yeah.
Which must have been over 92 days. It was just funny because we were going to throw
I'm getting it back, by the way.
I don't want it back. I finished Warlords of New York. I'm going to go play Tarkov again. No, I'm lying. Although I did play Tarkov earlier.
Do you think you're going to try and balance your time a little bit between it? Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm quite surprised to hear that because obviously we're going to thoughts and stuff like that in a minute, but I know you've been pretty hitting hard into Tarkov, and I gotta be honest, it's with the content that they've released over the last year, it's not really felt like there's been reason to go play, and now there really is reason to kind of jump back in and play. I know you didn't bother playing episode 3 until, what was it, Saturday, Sunday, just before the release?
Yeah, I played one of each of the missions the Saturday and the Sunday before Warlords came out. Warlords came out on the Monday instead of the Tuesday, didn't it?
Mm.
Although we couldn't really play it, so because I'd got the NPC bug where I could literally talk to none of the NPCs in the safe room.
Yeah.
So rather than just randomly walk around New York gaining XP for no reason, I just turned it off.
Unlike some people, but there we go. What did you think of the missions?
Hey,
the episode 3 missions.
Yeah.
The first one was hot garbage. The second one was pretty decent.
And in contrast to the expansion, missions, should I say?
Pretty weak, but that's not taken away from the second one. I genuinely enjoyed the second one, the name of which I've got no idea what it is, but the second one of episode 3 was really good. The
one with the cleaners in it.
Yeah, they do pale in significance to Warlords of New York, but that's the whole point of paying 20 quid for an expansion, isn't it? You would want them to be significantly better.
Do you think those missions would have gone over better if they'd gone over, like, they'd actually been dropped all at the same time? Like, as a mini expansion?
All 6 of them from 1, 2, and 3.
And Kenley College. Because at that point, it kind of is an expansion, isn't it, to a degree?
I mean, maybe, but first of all, if you drop them all together, you'd probably be expected to pay for it. And then if you pay for it, like I said, like literally 2 minutes ago, you would probably want them to be significantly better. So
I think so. I gotta be honest, like the zoo mission's awesome.
The zoo mission is brilliant, yeah, to be fair.
Yes. Is it Camp White Oak was really good. The Pentagon was really good. And I liked the second mission from episode 3 better than the first one, like the haunted house and all the rest of it.
Oh yeah, the haunted house bit was spectacular. That's really well done, actually, to be fair to whoever made that area of the map. That is really, really good.
That's the first mission.
That's the second mission.
It depends which way.
Killing all the rats.
That's the second mission.
Yeah, second mission.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Did you go right?
What do you mean? What?
Did you go right when you loaded in?
Did you zig instead of zag?
Did I do the wrong mission first?
I don't think it matters, but I mean, they literally, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but when you load in, they literally put you straight in front of the mission, ready to go.
Yeah, I don't think I could do the first mission second.
Unless we're remembering wrong, but whatever.
Maybe we did it wrong.
I think the haunted house was in the first mission because you kill all the rats. That's the first mission.
Well, I didn't do it first.
I'm genuinely confused what I did now, but whatever. The second mission was better. The haunted house was brilliant.
Yes.
Whatever.
Okay.
They're still nowhere near on the level of Warlords.
No.
Let's just leave it at that.
No, I just wanted, because I was just kind of thinking back, because we had like that kind of mini gear rework, the targeted loot drops back in September. All that kind of packaged together would have been a decent drop in September of last year to kind of keep players entertained, I guess. And then 6 months later, have Warlords. You know, I'm not saying we'll get something every 6 months. I'd be surprised what we see towards the end of the year, if anything. I don't know, but anyway.
Well, we know we're getting a raid before that, don't we? So, well, actually, we don't. We know we're getting a raid this year
at some point. Well, it should be in the next couple of months. So
September.
I'm not surprised. Luke, do you want to do something before we move on?
I was going to do it at the end, to be honest, but I could do it now.
Yeah, if you want.
Okay. Everybody knows Boris the Blade, whatever you want to call him. You know, the guy that never shuts up. Friend of the show, been on 2 or 3 times. We were lucky enough to meet him in. Well, yeah, we can't get rid of him, but we were quote unquote lucky enough to meet him in Cologne for Gamescom when we got to try out Division 2. Most people will know his streams, twitch.tv/Borry the Blade. He started a new series called Beers with Borry. He did an episode last week, and he's got an episode coming next Friday. That's that Friday the 13th.
Possibly.
13th or 14th.
Pretty sure it is. Friday the 13th. Yeah, wow. Okay, cool. First Friday the 13th of the year. So if you want to listen to a guy who's incredibly knowledgeable about beer, talk about beer whilst drinking beer, head on over to his Twitch channel. Yeah, well, I mean, Rob likes beer. I don't know how much he knows about beer.
He's pretty knowledgeable.
It tastes good.
Yeah, can you imagine beers with Rob? Beer, yeah.
Me like beer.
Then he,
beer good.
Then he gets confused with
suddenly turn into a caveman.
You didn't suddenly turn into a caveman, Rob. This is just you. Me, Rob.
Disagree.
Me disagree.
Rob's freaking clever as hell, and it's just funny because you're calling him dumb.
I'm not calling him dumb.
No. All right, sorry.
Caveman.
Didn't call you a caveman.
Brain the size of a walnut.
Right. First of all, the word caveman came out of your mouth, not mine. Second of all, I just questioned how much you actually know about beer. I didn't say you're stupid.
I know it tastes
thirdly,
nice.
It's not our fault if you have a head shaped like one of the Easter Island people.
Do I?
He's like, shit, Google. I need to see my reflection. That's not fair.
My chin's not that big.
My forehead's not that big.
I have
anyway.
a 5 head.
Okay, so before we get started,
we already did
won't really get on to the state of the game stuff. There's been maintenance. We'll talk about that a little bit towards the end. But being honest, it wasn't the best of launches for the expansion this week. It was a bit bumpy.
Yeah, it was a shit show.
Also, the timings with regards to PC and Xbox and PlayStation 4, like the window of it all being released was all convoluted and all the rest of it. People were kicking off about it. In the end, let's be honest, it didn't matter because they just opened it up for everyone. But that didn't matter because with everyone trying to
do the missions because they were locked behind NPCs not working.
Well, there was that as well. Plus, nobody could get online because of what Delta 0207.
Oh, I didn't care about that because I was at work when that was happening. I don't give a shit.
that was kind of funny to watch several streamers
sit there for 6 hours waiting to get on the game.
Not play the game for several hours while it downloaded really slowly and then just wouldn't let them in.
Yeah, it's launch day. This is why I can't remember if we said it on last week's podcast. I will no longer take launch days off because I would have done it one point a long time ago.
Depends on the game, dude.
Yeah, if it's a live game, let's be honest, no chance. If this is one where you're just going to go down the shop and buy it, then you're probably safe to do so.
I know for a fact when Tarkov goes live, there's no point having that day off.
Don't go anywhere near Tarkov for like the first week.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Wow.
Oh dear.
I think the funniest thing, I don't know if it's just me, but I think the funniest thing out of all of this is the fact that I love the fact people coming back to play the game, but always people are like, the game sucks. The game sucks. And then it's like, why can't I log in? Please let me in. Because it's just funny because like you have all those people returning. So that's how much interest this expansion is, kind of brought in. And I really hope it went across well with the amount of people interested in the expansion and kind of everyone's take on it, because I believe it's kind of going over pretty well content-wise with the community. And I saw Broman at one point screaming, saying, I love this game and all the rest of it. So
yeah, that was on the State of the Game. Yeah.
Yes, it was on the State of the Game. I know other people have been playing it as well, but it's been quite interesting. Rob, how much did you play on the first day?
I played a lot. I got to level 35 and I didn't even do any of the missions because they were all locked out to me. I just explored New York and like Gear 2.0. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Luke, I know you said earlier you pretty much did the same as me, didn't you? You do like the kind of preliminary bit, and then we went to a safe house without spoiling anything, and no one was able to interact with the NPCs, were they? They weren't giving out missions. I think Boris spent 4 hours trying to get one of his done.
Yeah, I think Boris managed to figure out. I think earlier in the day it would be if you couldn't get an NPC to work, you had to log out of the game and view play, log back in again, and then you might get one to work. But by the time we got on, that just wasn't working anymore.
No,
they just completely just said no, no missions for you, no. So
you had to fast travel to several different places before you could get it to enable, and that is just
that. I did the same as you. Unlocked the first safe house after you did the prologue bit or whatever you want to call it, and then turned it off.
I will admit I kind of regretted it because I could have done with getting doing some of the control, doing some of the things in that area. Because I will admit I didn't finish the proper expansion till yesterday. The same as you, Luke. And Rob was done Tuesday, Wednesday? When were you done?
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've done mine. I've only finished yesterday because I did mine methodical. My New York map is now completely clean.
I haven't done it on my show deck because I don't give a shit.
Anyway, I suppose before we go any further, are we going to go full spoilers on this? I think by the time this airs, we're recording Friday the 6th of March. Let's be honest, if you've played the game, I hope you've got to a point where you should be near the end.
It's a 6 to 10 hour campaign. You should be done.
Or at least close to. So by the time this goes up, it's going to be, I would say, Sunday, Monday. So it's almost a week at this point. I think we can kind of talk about spoilers in detail.
Cool.
If not, just pause it.
I was going to say, you give enough warning to press the pause button by now, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pause it and come back to us when you've had a chance to finish it.
Don't leave forever. Come back. But yeah.
Bye.
We love you.
Love you.
Right. Well, straight into it. Is it good to be back into New York City, boys? Luke.
Yes, but the second I finished the map, I went back to DC. So not
that.
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
I suppose because you're done.
Go and play some more missions. Yeah. I didn't literally want to then reset the missions and go and play them again straight away. I will play them again for sure, but
Rob, you're forgetting he's methodically gone around the whole of his map. He's done everything. He's seen everything, to a degree.
Everything, quote unquote. There are still some audio logs I need to find, but I've done all the share tech and the other bits and pieces and the side missions too. I just wanted. It was what 10:30-ish last night when I did the Kina fight. Found out the secret ending. So ending.
That was very fun to listen to.
We'll talk that. We'll talk about that
later. Yeah, but I just wanted to kill some stuff, so I just walked around and found a couple of name bosses and got some loot 2.0 and then went back to the recalibration station, and all the gear that I wanted to sell gun-wise, I put the talents into my library. I had a couple of god rolls, but literally 2, maybe 3. Put them in. And then I was going to go in the dark zone, and then I looked up at the clock and it was midnight, and I was like, no, bedtime.
Oh, you stayed up quite late then after you disappeared. Nice. Robert, is it good to be back in New York?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've enjoyed this week a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's been the best thing about going back to New York for you, do you think?
I don't know.
I think New York's got like a lot of... Obviously, we spent a lot of time there with the Division 1, but that first area you go to... I'm trying to think, for Parnell, where it's the old dark zone, isn't it?
It's very dense.
Yes. But it just reminds me of like Dark Zone 6, 7, 8, and 7, 8, and 9 when they introduced that, and you've got the black bags everywhere, you've got the fire, and it's just a complete wreck, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just having that, the closeness of I think that's it as well, is the fact like the closeness of the buildings, and like you said, it being dense, it just adds to the atmosphere. I think that's something that we're missing from Washington DC because it's quite open.
Yeah, there's something I've noticed this week because I've gone back to DC after completing it, and like some of the AI is different in New York compared to DC, like because they're different factions, they have different lines, and they tend to be more varied than in DC.
Yeah, because we've only got what? I mean, this...
Maybe it's just because I've been playing DC and I'm just like used to the fact that they just shout the same shit over and over again.
But I expect if you went back to the original Division 1, you'd be like, well, the AI in that isn't as good as the Division 2, but then the AI in the Division 2 is technically not as good as the expansions.
It could all be also a factor of the Gear 2.0 like rework. The fact that now you have to, you're forced to use cover.
Which is a good thing.
Like, no matter what, especially on like, since I've passed, because I've done all the I did all the content before you guys. I've then moved on to doing like heroic. I've literally put my world tier onto heroic and just been running around heroic, and it's really good fun. It's a challenge. You literally walk into a group of AI and you have to get into cover because if you don't, you're dead. Like, it's crazy. Like,
is it nice not face tanking the open world again?
I've had to completely change my playstyle because I was just going around shredding people, and I don't know. It's weird. I've had to like completely rework the way I play.
So it's like playing the game again for the first time.
Like,
but you know how to play it.
I'm playing the game as it's supposed to be intended. Like, it's a cover-based shooter. Like, I am constantly in cover because I've basically all my builds are DPS builds. So like,
glass cannon.
I'm glass cannon. So if I go out of cover, I'm dead.
But that's one of the great things, I guess, being introduced with Gear and Loot 2.0. Luke, what do you think one of the best things about going back to New York is, like the setting and everything compared to DC? Would you say
the atmosphere? I think
the music.
The music's pretty cool. Obviously, depending on which area of the map you're doing, you get a different type of music. So each like Parnell will have a type of music. Kajika's got some really cool, like chilled out
shade music.
So what's your favorite boss fight out of all 4 of them? 5 of them.
I mean, Kina wins.
Yeah, hands down.
But of the 4,
the Razorback dude.
Of the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, or they're not called the 4 Horsemen, but you know what I mean. The 4 rogue agents, lieutenants, whatever. It was the Russian guy,
Dragov,
yeah, with his shield buddies. That was really good.
I'm really interested to see.
Did you use the mechanic, the minigun?
No.
Yeah.
You did.
Oh, you didn't.
I didn't know.
Oh, right. Okay. Because I guess that's what you were supposed to do. Because every so often it's like minigun online,
I just fucking killed him.
and then whichever one lights up.
It was like a mini version of
Boomer.
Raid.
A Boomer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of figured that when they said minigun offline. I was like, what?
What?
We're supposed to be using the miniguns. Oh, okay. Well, 2 of them are dead now anyway, so...
Okay, so we've talked a little bit about going back to New York. Obviously happy to be back there. I think there's a lot of nostalgia for going back there.
Yeah.
You've got Christmas areas, as I'm sure Rob had.
Oh, yes.
God.
That's a really good control point, right?
No, it's not good. It's terrible.
Well, Rob fucking loves it.
Celebration Hotel.
Celebration Hotel. There's constant Christmas music, and there is a shade tech near it. They showed all the state of the game as well. Some guy went into the room, and it's just filled with nutcrackers. It's brilliant.
So
Loved
loud.
it. I was there for ages, just listening to the music.
So loud, and it just doesn't stop, and it's so fucking annoying. I don't know how you could stay there for so long.
But can you imagine if they did that for the whole of the Division 1? Oh, it's just Christmas.
Nobody would have played it.
Nope. No, you would not have 3,000 hours in that game.
It was like being in a mall, at Christmas time, like a shopping centre.
I must admit, I do miss the snow.
Christmas music rammed down your face.
But that's what I meant about atmosphere earlier, because I might be completely remembering it wrong, but the whole time I was in New York, it felt like it was nighttime again, like Division 1.
Mm.
And everything being darker. And
was it actually nighttime?
What, across 4 different days?
Possibly.
Shut up. Played for 5 hours straight yesterday.
No, I know what you mean, because I left one of the missions yesterday. I was going across one of the districts, and as I was going across, I was like, wow. Because you've got the old fire, the barrels with the fire in it. And I was like, this is survival. This reminds me of survival. You've got
the Sarah body bags and the blood dripping out of all the trash cans and everything.
Yeah.
It's just,
But then you've got the change of weather effects. I know we have different weather effects in the main game, but it's in that setting, you had all right, you haven't got snow anymore, but there was a bit of a blizzard. There was a snowstorm at nighttime with the fires going. I'm like, this looks like survival. This is so fucking cool.
Wait, we've had snowstorms.
Yeah, I never got a snowstorm. I had a rain, a thunderstorm.
Yeah, rains. I've had rain.
It looks like
I had to change what I was wearing. I put my
you know when you get sleet or a bit of snow here, but it doesn't fucking stick. It looked like that.
What I was
I had to put my yellow Mac on.
Oh right, just in case.
Yeah,
my character was getting wet.
Did you get chased? Did you get chased by any clowns at that point?
Nope. No
Same, we all
no
float.
red balloons.
No red balloons. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I love the idea that we've gone back to New York. My worry is now, where else can we go after this expansion? Unless they're going to give us North Manhattan, north of
New Jersey,
where we are.
We might finally get Central Park.
No,
but that's it. You get Central
now.
You get Central Park, and that's it.
They could do that because they've worked out how to do trees and shit.
Yeah, it took a while. 4 years? Was it 4 years? 3 years? Yeah.
So we'll get below Division 1 and we'll get above Division 1 map wise.
Okay, so story. I'm going to be honest. I think the story, I don't care about the ending. I know there's going to be.
The ending is amazing.
Yes,
dude.
it is. I agree with you, but I think there's going to be a lot of people out there that's kind of conflicted by the ending or think it's cheesy or whatever. I have seen it out there.
There's a lot of people in our Discord that are very angry that it's who it is.
I think it makes sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
We'll talk about it in a minute, but I will say, I don't understand. And we said this the other week. If they kill Kina, who the fuck can take the mantle that has been set up from day one by him? And it kind of makes sense. Yeah. Spoiler. But we did tell you.
already.
We did tell you. Thoughts on the story, Rob? Did you enjoy the story?
Fucking brilliant. That last mission, like, just knits it all together. It's fucking amazing.
Yep.
It does. I gotta be honest. I love
not only with the mechanics, because he uses.
Oh, the mechanics are outstanding.
He uses the Black Tusk tech against you. It's well done, guys. Well done.
I gotta be honest. I love the fact that we're going back to New York. I love the fact that we've now got technically 4 horsemen. I'm going to call them that because I don't give a fuck. It is basically 4 horsemen in the apocalypse with Keener and the fucking and I love the fact that it doesn't just go. You have to go. It kind of does with regards to the story missions and all the rest of it, but it's like you have to find your way there because of the whole fog of war thing that they've got going on. But I like, on top of that, the audio logs. So like you're on the way to these missions, and if you are aware and you're looking about, you pick up audio logs for like the
tells the story on your way.
Yeah, that tells the story of the kind of the backstory of why these people are teaming up with Kino, or the reasons they're doing this in the first place, or why they've gone rogue. And I think that adds to it. Whereas I kind of feel like in the Division 2, the story was help settlements, go get Ellis. Was it Ellis?
It was rushed.
It felt very rushed. And then like the last cutscene that we get in that game, the last proper cutscene, like ignoring any additional content, is turning on the Shade Network. And that to me is like a very thin story.
When I finished the campaign with you guys in chat, I'm pretty sure I said this should have been the end of the game.
The game, yeah.
Not the shit we got. This should have been in the game like 6 months ago.
I think it should have been the whole of the Division 2.
Yeah.
I think this should have been right, okay. Because I said to you guys before, I like the story from the Division 2. I kind of like the lore it's introduced. And even that was quite thin in the Division 1. Like there's still open to interpretation and things like that. And then you go from that to the Division 2, where I kind of feel like they tried to leave the story kind of open, but then it's extended in the missions, and then episode 3, and then we've got like this whole expansion completing a storyline from 4 years ago. It's really weird. Is it 4 years ago?
Yeah.
It was older than that now. Yeah, 4 years ago. It's really, really odd storytelling. But I love the story, and I love how they did it, and it makes sense. It melts together.
But then we're all invested in that storyline because of the first game. People coming into this game without playing the first game would be like, who the fuck is Kina? You know?
Well, yeah, but that's why they've done like a whole recap.
But that's why the storytelling is so good, because they had to recap everything.
Yes, they had to chase, because they kind of go over a lot of the stuff that we already know, as agents from the Division 1.
Refreshers.
Yeah. Luke, thoughts on the story?
Loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't really add much that you haven't already said between you, to be fair. I was just sat here listening to you, just like nodding along. I know people can't see me nodding along on the podcast, but
I can.
Sat here. Yep.
Well, who was your favorite character story-wise out of the 4 horsemen? Obviously, you've got Keenan, who's got his own shit going on, but I'm interested to see, like, obviously for both of you, who your favorite character was.
I don't know. I think they all bring something different. And I'm not sure I've got a favourite out of the 4 of them, but they all bring something different. Because I don't know if you two agree, but Connolly seemed quite reluctant.
Vivian.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, right? I love it. I don't know if you guys picked it up. There's an audio log where it's going on about, whether she should be a division agent because she had psychological issues and all the rest of it. She kind of locks onto her target and all the rest of it. And it was like, man, and the fact that they didn't think that the division or, Directive 51 was going to be a thing ever. That was brought up. It's like, well, this thing's probably never going to happen anyway, so it doesn't matter, And then it did happen, and now you have this nutcase that's gone in, she's got fixated, and then she's gone rogue and gone nuts. So it's fucking brilliant. I love, you've got. I love that you've got those little pieces in there that kind of give you background on the characters, like and with Theo as well. The fact that he was wasn't he finding out stuff with the division that there was like shaky grounds or something, or the people that were running the division. I can't remember.
There was something like that. I can't remember. I did
think of
Parnell
the new
first,
skills?
so I haven't used any of them yet.
I've been using the decoy, the Farnell decoy a lot. It's pretty good.
See, that boss fight was brilliant.
I
loved that one.
That and the Dragov are on par with me. I can't remember the fucking
Conley was I would say Conley's mission or boss mission
do?
overall was really good. Conley's was you
keep going up and up and up on the oil tanker.
Yeah.
It's just
go
and find Conley at the end.
The worst one is
Kajika's the worst one
Kajika's,
by a fucking country mile.
Because you kill him, he doesn't die. Then you kill him again, doesn't die.
Because I was playing that with you two in chat and I was raging. It's like, he's got no health left and he won't die. And then he disappears, comes back out of the room again at the top, and he's got
gate boss fights.
I'll say this now, that I think that one and the Dragov one are going to be a complete fucking pain on the ass on harder difficulty when you go back to do it properly.
I think that's why they're like that, because they're designed for harder difficulties. I think the fact that you're doing on the story means like the fact that you kill him so quickly means like, oh shit, that's going to be tough on heroic or whatever.
I suppose. Can you imagine the Keener fight on heroic? Oh god!
Oh, I want to do that now. Thank you.
Especially with Seekers and all the rest of it, with increased
That's
explosive damage.
Nightmarish.
Can you guys remember roughly how many times you died?
I didn't die
on the
once.
Keener fight.
Fuck off!
I didn't.
I
did not wipe once.
Wow. Okay.
Or in his whole life. And that's why we're out of toilet roll. No, that's why you turn a safe for hour. I think I died once on that mission.
I was at least 3.
I died once on the Kajika mission because of the steam, and I didn't because I got caught up. I couldn't figure out which direction to go.
Yeah. I almost died at that point as well.
But I kind of realized like it doesn't rotate like with the switches or anything like that. It doesn't alternate which way you're supposed to go, so you can kind of get a grasp of which way. I love the fact these bosses have mechanics. This is like, apart from the raid, the first time that we're seeing this in the division. Yeah. And it's very Destiny. It's very like, you have to use this, that, and the other. And the fact that, you're obtaining skills, the new skills from the Four Horsemen, and they're using them against you, aren't they?
Yeah.
In really cool, clever ways. And I really like that. I gotta be honest, for me, we are on about story and all the rest of it, the cutscenes. I think we had more cutscenes in this expansion than we did the whole of the second game.
Yeah, I don't want to agree with you there, but you're probably right.
Or more informative.
There's definitely more story. More. The thing is, it's not.
There's more of everything story. In this expansion.
It's just more story that you're like
looking for or interested in.
Yeah.
It just scares me where the story's.
Yeah, I can't remember what the word I'm trying to look for, but you know what I mean.
It just scares me where the story's going to go if they do a third game, because like if the first one's like after it, and this one and the second one was supposed to be repairing it.
Dead now, so
yeah.
It's sort of the Pharaoh.
There's got to be a third one now, hasn't it? Just to see where she takes it.
Well, it depends, because it might be. It's supposed to be answered with the fact that the rogue network is now activated, and we're gonna. I'm pretty sure that Rob, you were saying earlier that they're going to continue the story for like.
Yeah, that's how the leagues are going to continue.
But also, they said
that's what we're tracking down every time.
Yeah, but they also said that we were going to get story across the first year of the division.
Like
too
transitions, like the story has now transitioned into
a live game,
season content.
Yes,
it's fucking amazing.
Luke, you happy with the boss fights? I know you had a couple of difficulties with them, but
Yeah, no, they were good. Like I say, I wiped a few times on with the Kina fight, 3 or 4. I died probably twice to Kajika, but I don't remember dying to the other guys. I definitely didn't die to Parnell or Conley. I may have died to Dragov. I can't remember.
No,
I didn't die to Dragov. It was tough though. Like it was hair. You know.
yeah, I just gotta be honest. It's been really, really nice sinking my teeth back into some decent content that isn't done in 40 minutes because, like Rob said earlier, it's like what 6 to 10 hours worth of content, and that's not doing everything.
Unless you're fucking insane at the game, then you're doing 4 to 5.
Yeah, I mean, we should probably iterate that. I don't know what you guys think of the difficulty. I think it's
definitely
amped up.
It's definitely harder than it was before.
I'm not on about heroics, but I like the story itself.
No, like generally the game is harder now.
Yeah.
If we're going to move on to that discussion, they have made the difficulty true to its name. Challenging is now challenge.
Yeah.
Normal is now what you should expect if you've got a good build.
I'll remind you of that in a couple of weeks when you've got your really good gear and you're walking through heroics.
Well,
and you're like, it's a bit easy
dude.
now.
You say that, dude. I don't think that's going to happen.
I remember us talking about.
I don't think that's going to happen, dude, because of the way they've done Gear 2.0. I will always be a DPS build because of the way I play.
Yeah, me too. But I remember us talking about how you would get wrecked when the first game came out if you didn't stay in cover. And then we all got really good builds and you could just walk around like Division 1 face tanking everything and it didn't matter.
You haven't played.
I know. No. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but all I said was I will remind you of that in a couple of weeks when we've got really good builds. And our library's full of god rolls.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah. From my experience over the last couple of days, you can.
Dude, it's been out for less than a week.
I know, but I've got a pretty decent build, and
pretty decent.
It's not perfect, but it's close to. It's not close perfected, but it's pretty decent, and you have to be in cover. If you're out of cover, you're fucked.
But that's a good thing. That is a good thing because
hang on.
I'm not saying that. I know. I was just saying it's a good thing to have difficulty to a point.
I wasn't arguing with you. I'm arguing with Rob. I wasn't saying you'll be able to face tank everything. I was just saying you'll still find stuff easy again.
No, I don't think I will.
Okay.
Depends if they adjust it or not. That's
if they do, I'll be sad.
Yeah, I don't want them to adjust it.
I am loving the difficulty right now because
if shit's tough, I want it to be tough. That's what when me and Rob were on the podcast alone, when you were trying not to die, we were like, yeah, we want some truly difficult content and we want them to leave it difficult.
You know when we did, what was the last thing we did heroic as a 3 group? The Zoom mission.
Zoom mission
when we were getting spam-naded, yeah.
That's what it's like just roaming around the world.
Yeah, but that's what you'd expect.
That's how difficult it is.
If you set your world to heroic, that's what I want it to be. All I was saying was if, when you've now got your build fully optimized with max weapon damage on your guns, with max crit chance everywhere and, 170k armor rolls everywhere because you've got all your god rolls, shit's going to get easier. I'm not saying you'll be able to do it with your eyes closed like we could the first.
I was finding it
game.
Fairly challenging, even with the 50% buff to the Negev. Now they've nerfed it
by 50%.
It's yeah, it's tough.
Yeah,
dude.
By the way, anybody listening at Ubisoft, Massive, Red Storm, whomever, can we have Rob's progress rolled back, please? Because he's been using the OP gun for 3 days.
No, I earned that blueprint and I rolled as many as I possibly could.
They're now all trash.
But to be honest,
because that gun is still very good. Just because they've nerfed it does not mean that gun is not still OP. Okay?
But to be honest, we're talking about difficulty, and we haven't played together. We haven't played any of the expansions together.
Yeah, I played one mission in a duo, and it was tough.
Yeah, and you said like the the difficulty scaled up, and you're like, whoa, okay, this like increases a lot.
Yes.
And you're already doing challenging. We all complete. Was it challenging or heroic?
It was
Heroic.
challenging.
Oh,
okay.
but you set your world to heroic though, right?
My world was set to heroic, but I joined Boris and he was doing the mission on challenging.
Right. Okay.
And it was tough.
So what-
It was like being on challenging on your own.
Because we're grouping up as soon as we finish like uploading our recordings and stuff on
Yes.
tonight. So what are we going heroic? Are we going balls deep straight away? Or?
No, you guys have just finished
He's
the
like,
campaign.
try it on normal and see if we can get past that. first.
Maybe try challenging stuff. Get you some
But
loot.
the point I'm trying to say is like the difficulty is definitely there. It's raised. It's gonna take a couple of weeks to kind of get to a point
It's
where you're playing.
tough, dude.
Yeah, where you're playing the challenging, the heroics. But just for this week, we've all played separately, which has been, gonna be honest, really weird.
Yeah.
It's been really weird playing the same content to a degree. Well, me and Luke, Rob's always ahead with stuff, but not playing together.
Can't help being fast. What I do, right?
I'm not
shit.
saying anything. I was going to say something, but I better not. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting over the next couple of weeks to see how our thoughts and feelings kind of go towards, because there is legendaries in the game, isn't there? So we've got to get to that point,
Yeah.
which is going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, you guys gonna need builds for that.
Yeah.
Captain OP, fucking hell.
Yes.
Oh, you guys need builds. I'm all right.
I am.
But he's not wrong. We've
I'm
seen
done.
like a lot of people complain about it. I read it, obviously, main source for this. It's like, oh, they fucked it up, fucked up the TTK and all the rest of it. I'm firing 3 mags into an NPC on heroics. It's like, yeah, because I know you see Frederick Thylander and a couple of other people out there stating why you basically need a properly min-max build to do the content.
I saw a tweet from Frederick Thylander the other day. He's no longer with the division, is he anymore?
He's taking a
He's
break.
moved on.
Something like that, yeah.
Thank you very much, dude.
I didn't see that tweet. That's a shame.
Yeah.
It was earlier today, I believe.
I hope he
Well, yeah.
listens to this and
Rip.
yeah.
Well,
Missing
in fact,
if you
I was going to say, if anything, thank you for your hard work on the
dude.
game. And thanks for your conversations, as always. Anyway,
Could have
before
missed him on the state of the game. He's always good on the state of the game.
and he's out firefighting the frickin' communications on Twitter and all the rest of it, and he does an excellent job. Before we kind of leave story, I guess, Kena fight, excellent. Would you all agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Liberty Island mission was fucking awesome. Like that whole area. I wish we could have gone there. I'm pretty
The
sure we said it.
Razorback, dude.
Yep. On Liberty Island was cool. It's kind of weird, attacking a Razorback by itself. But then I'm like, is that going to be more difficult with 4 of us? Is that kind of a mini raid? I don't know.
Oh shit! We need to do that mission as 4-piece.
Yeah. Did we get Eagle Bearers? Or half an Eagle Bearer?
No.
Oh, damn. Let's talk about that ending then. So, end of the expansion. You've killed the 4 horsemen. You picked up their skills. You go after Kena. Then Kena basically attacks you with your own skills, which is fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I really like all like the mission prompts where it's like kill Paul Rhodes and the division's a lie and do you trust Fei Lao and all the rest of it.
Did you like all of the dialogue from Kena when you're like you destroy his armor? He goes, "Oh look, you destroyed my armor."
Yeah, when it's like, oh look,
he's like berating you the whole fight.
Yes, he is. And I love the fact he's like, hold on a minute, I'm just reloading,
Yeah.
or hold on a minute, I'm just healing.
He's like a fucking
But his
member
AI,
of the SITREP.
his AI to me was akin to fighting a hunter.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah,
It's like the
Elite
best hunter.
yeah.
It's like the best hunter we fought. I didn't think the mission was overly difficult though. I didn't think it was over the top, but it was definitely a mission. You had to push
you
it.
kept like mobile. Yeah, you were good.
You had to push on him though, otherwise he just kept healing himself, didn't he? if you weren't careful.
Yeah.
And then
If you had a negav, you were fine.
I didn't have one of those. Actually, yeah, I did, and it wasn't nerfed at that point, so
No.
it was all right.
I was using a blue one. I think maybe.
And then you chase him down, and he kind of bleeds to death, but before you kill him to a certain degree. I gotta be honest. At that point, I did think because Kelso went down in the freaking ferry on the way over to Liberty Island, I was like, at any point now, when you go over to Kina,
pop him in the face.
she's gonna pop your agent or like hold a gun up to you and fucking turn rogue on you. And I was waiting for it because there's a moment in the main campaign where she looks at the president and you're like, she looks fucking dodgy.
Yeah, she's dirty.
Yeah, but she's not, according to the expansion. Yeah. Maybe it's one of these ones where they did like a whole switcheroo and, she was going to be the big bad, but they couldn't.
It was
make it work.
a whole like misdirection sort of thing.
Yeah. And then the whole point is the fact that Keena's been working with Parnell to set up the rogue network, and upon his death, he basically activated it, which obviously starts the manhunt.
Dies laughing.
And he dies laughing, yeah, because he's basically like, you don't know what's coming. And I like the fact, I mean, that could be alluded to another expansion, another game, or just the manhunts in the future. So I like the fact that
It's
that
definitely
side of it has kind of been left open.
A lead on to the manhunts, the leagues that's coming.
We think, yeah.
It definitely is.
All right. Luke, obviously, after that, because he's activated the rogue network, he's somehow tapped into the Black Tusk network at the same time. I'm not quite sure how that works.
Yeah, you just got a radio communication.
Yeah, because Phalau has Parnell's Rogue Watch, SHD Watch.
Don't know.
And then talking to Schaefer on it and all that from the Black Tusk.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And yeah, I had to go back and rewatch it because the way it was portrayed, it felt very convoluted to me. And it made sense on rewatch. But I do like the reveal. But you could kind of tell the minute you saw the back of her, you were like, that's fucking Phalau. But there was also that moment I was like,
you could hear her voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the voice gave it away straight away, even if you didn't see even if you didn't recognize the back of her head and whatever. But
and then you go and speak to you hear Rick Velassi on the radio, don't you?
Yeah, and he's saying like it. Yeah, and for once he's actually saying good shit about the division.
Yeah, he's like, the agents
they've saved the day.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I expected him to be something to do with the twist in the end of the story as well, because it was impossible to stay away from all spoilers. So everybody's like, "Oh, the twist at the end!" It's just like, okay, I've heard people mention that Rick Velasquez back in the game. There's a twist at the end of the game. He's not a big enough character to be the bad guy, but I expected him to be involved just for how much shit he gave the division in the first game on whatever his podcast was called. But yeah, turns out I was wrong. He's a good guy in the end.
Yeah.
Or thus far, at least.
I like the fact that Benitez and
Rhodes
are like kind of like, what the fuck? And
yeah, but you would be, wouldn't you?
You would be, yeah.
If you go over the lifespan of the game, like in game, it's
because they were like been part of the team in the beginning, aren't they? So they're like, what the fuck, dude?
I hope
they're just as what the fuck as we are,
I hope it delves a lot more into why she decided to change sides. Like, was it money?
Yes.
Was it just fed up with the politics and the bullshit? Was it
they gave her the technology to fix her leg?
Did she kill? Because there's an audio log, isn't there? Yeah. There's an audio log, isn't there, about her sister? Because she's talking to her sister in a couple of them and being like, her sister's like, you don't need the division and all the rest of it.
Maybe some of the rogue agents killed her sister or some shit.
No, it was a Riker, wasn't it? I think it was a Riker that killed her sister. And she was basically like, I think she caught the Riker and she was basically like something on the lines of like, why did you kill my sister? And he was like, I don't know, which one was it that I shot in the back? Or I can't remember the exact word. Yeah, I can't remember the exact one. But it's almost as if like that moment, she was basically like, probably the division's not working. My sister didn't believe it in it either. And it's kind of like, caused her to go rogue. I don't know. I'm not 100%. I need to go back and probably find more audio logs. I've got a couple of missing, I think. But I love the twist, and I stand by the fact that it had to be someone to take the mantle, and it makes sense.
The person that was giving us orders in the first game, like evil.
Yeah, if
does that mean every action we did in the first game was evil? So it's like Bioshock.
No, because you're then assuming that she was evil from the get-go, aren't you?
Yeah, but she might have been.
Well, I mean, she might have been. You can't prove otherwise. But I mean,
did she say?
It's a bit of a leap, isn't it?
Did she say "Would you kindly"? Well, every time she asked us to do something.
A lot of people are not going to get that joke or reference.
No, they won't. But I don't care.
Luke, what do you think about the twist anyway?
It didn't annoy me as much as it's annoyed some of our Discord members. Let's put it that way. In fact, sorry, I'll rephrase that. It didn't annoy me at all. But some of our Discord members have lost their mind. Shout out to Cheshire Cat and Foxy, and I don't think Boris is too pleased, or Cap either.
Because it's a favourite character, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's a lot of people. It's a beloved character of a franchise that you enjoy, and that person's gone rogue, and you're like, why? And yeah, we haven't got all the information.
See, I've seen comments from people saying, "Oh, it felt forced." To me, it doesn't feel forced because
we just don't know all the information.
If Kina basically handed it over to some random new bad guy, you'd be like, "Well, who's this guy? Why do I care that he's a bad guy?" Blah blah blah. It had to be a twist, like it was going to be Kelso, Lau, Rhodes, or
but if you remember the cutscenes from the beginning of the game, like the expansion as well, like she's always like angry.
But it just had to be somebody you were invested in. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, you just wouldn't care. That's kind of the point. Like everybody,
it could be
everybody
Mary
knew
Poppins,
that Kina was
like, oh, okay, Mary Poppins is trying to kill us.
Yeah, like everybody knew that Kina was the bad guy, and then when it was announced that we were going to finally battle Kina, it was like, right. So he either escapes, and that's bullshit.
Yes.
Or
agreed.
He passes the mantle over to somebody else. And the second that everybody sort of leant towards the mantles getting passed, it had to be one of like 4 or at a stretch 6 people.
No, I disagree. It could have been a random person. Like, it could have been anyone.
Right. I mean, it could have, but it wouldn't have been as good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Fei Lau is the perfect bad guy, girl, whatever you want to say. But
Guy girl.
Gender neutral bad person. But it like I say, it had to be somebody from the core story. It just had to be. Yeah, otherwise you completely and utterly lose the investment.
You're saying that from the person who's played the first game. Fei Lau is not in the Division 2 up until now.
I feel like a good 90% of the people that have played Division 2 played Division 1.
Yeah, 100% agree. But from a developer's point of view, this is a throwback and is a new person at the same time.
I kind of see the angle you're going with, but
because like when you assuming you've only played the second game, right? You don't know who Fei Lau is. You go into the new expansion. She's there. She's angry.
But it tells you all that from the breadcrumbs are kind of there from the start. She's been pushing. She's been getting more aggressive and all the rest of it.
I feel like if you didn't know anything about Division 1, it would be fucking obvious. This would be the person that would do it.
Well, this is the question. You know, if you're listening to this and you've not played the Division 1, did you guess the twist before?
Yeah, I think people
it was
would.
there. I'd be quite interested to know.
I honestly think people would, because if you look at the cutscenes, she is angry. What's his face doesn't trust her.
Paul Rhodes, yeah.
Yeah.
See, if you'd have put
her leg is magically fixed.
If you'd have put a gun to my head,
it's been a year, dude.
No, it's been 8 months.
If you'd have put a gun to my head 2 weeks ago and made me choose somebody who would take over from Kina, my guess would have been Kelso.
Yeah.
I always thought there was something dodgy about Kelso. Ever since there's that mission where she just turns up in the middle of it. And she's
maybe it's just a cutscene with the president.
Yeah,
maybe it's just really bad facial animation or something.
No, there's a cutscene with the president where she's
I know involved. There is, but it's just like really dodgy. Maybe it's one of those things that we'll get to in the future. Do you know what I mean? Like Fei Lau's in charge of Kelso, or like handing Kelso
maybe
orders,
Fei Lau's
and
the double agent.
No, maybe Kelso's a double agent. We already know Failout's
maybe we're a double agent.
To be fair, if you were in charge of the division and you were going rogue, you would leave a mole behind, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
To find out what the fuck's going off, or to keep a track of what's going off.
I did
Plus,
watch.
she had to get rid of Kino. At the end of the day, she had to get rid of
Have you
Kino
seen
because
anything on? There was a thing on Twitter of the real. It was the division in real life.
what? We've already got it. What are you on about?
No, I mean like
Oh,
it was like a movie sort of thing. Someone like has portrayed, right? They're stealing and killing and pillaging all this new gear. As division agents, we're going to go kill them and steal their gear.
I know what you mean. It's kind of backwards, isn't it? But welcome to the division, real world, I guess. I agree with you guys. I think it's a really good ending. I'm going to be honest. I think it's a really good ending. I think
Should have happened
Luke
6 months ago.
agreed. I think as Luke said, I completely agree. If Kino had got away, people would be fucked off. I'd be fucked off, and it'd be kind of like you've still not finished the story.
Yeah.
Again, we already had that with the first game.
It's not. It's nowhere near a closed book, but it feels like a new chapter now, doesn't it? Rather than
Yes, it does. Yeah.
If Kino had
Agreed.
got away, it's just the next paragraph. It's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, come on.
But it kind of feels like we've waited 4 years to finally finish what is the first game, the chapter 1 of the division.
Yeah.
And we've like gone somewhere else and we've done a whole different story in the meantime.
Yeah, fuck that. This shouldn't be the end of the second game. This should have been the end of the first game.
I know, I said that. Because the first game ends with an echo in Tachenkov's lab. And that's it.
And then there should have been an expansion that is this game.
Well, we said that. We just, we asked nicely for it, I think about 3 years ago. And,
Maybe that's what we got, dude. We just paid for it, This is just an
we
expansion.
literally just paid for an expansion to end the first game.
Did we?
Yeah. You played it this week, right?
Did I?
I'd like to think so. Anyway, I think it's getting past beer o'clock for Rob, so we better push on. Yeah, happy with the story. I talked about difficulty. Difficulty is probably going to be an ongoing subject for the couple of weeks. Rob spent time with the difficulty this week in what have you done? Challenging, heroic stuff?
I've literally just went straight to heroic.
Okay. You're happy with it?
On nails.
Okay. Me and Luke haven't had a lot of time. Being honest, me and Luke, we already kind of said, finished it late last night, which would be Thursday. Just really in time for recording. And the reason we pushed this week's episode is because like Monday and Tuesday, there was still kind of a lot of problems with the game.
Well, no, it's because I finished it and I was like, you need to finish it.
Well, yeah, it's not just that. It's nice to all be on the same level. I don't want to split this up where like we talk about our first little bits of thoughts this week and next week. Like we finished
bullshit. Yeah.
half the game and all the rest of it the following week.
Blah, blah, blah.
Luke, new skills. You haven't used any?
None.
I used the decoy. I think the decoy is pretty good.
Yeah, the decoy is brilliant.
But it doesn't last long enough. But maybe that's something to do with the skill tier system. I need to have a look at it. I haven't really looked more into it than that.
That's to do with your ability to last long enough. Yeah.
I'm good in that department, dude. Anyway, what else did I use? I used the sticky bomb and the explodey sticky bomb.
Yeah, I haven't touched them because
they're okay, but I think
mods for them.
I feel like it's one of those things. I was using like level 35 to level 38, and then I didn't really use after that. I just wanted to try them out, and they were pretty good. I think that's it. Apart from gear and loot 2.0.
We should probably do a full next week when you guys have experienced like the different difficulties. We should probably do that next week.
Yeah,
Because-
gear and loot.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want to go into it too much,
because
but
they're
obviously,
still ironing out the kinks as well because the whole Dark Zone bullshit this week.
yeah, there's a lot in flux, which is why I expected the gear changes to be on a PTS, and I still think they should have been, but I just don't think they wanted to let people try it because then
Everyone that went in the DD this week, you're in a good position. Everyone that didn't, you're in a bad position, pretty much, because you ain't got as many god rolls.
I guess that's the majority of it done. Luke.
Hi.
Hi, Luke.
Now you're kind of back on board the Division train. Would you like to see the devs release another expansion like this in the near future? Or would you prefer a sequel to the game?
Probably another expansion, to be fair.
If it's not
Probably.
within the next 6 months, I don't give a shit. Agreed.
I don't think you're going to get it in the next 6 months.
Yeah,
No, but that's when it should be.
I don't know actually. Now I've said that, because 20 quid for this expansion, 20 quid for the next expansion. That's a new game in itself, and as good as Warlords is, it's at a push 10 hours.
That's not bad to say you can buy single player content and
No, I agree. But what I'm saying is, if you compare 2 expansions at 40 quid and a new game at 50 quid, you get a lot more in a new game than you do in 20 hours of content for 2 expansions.
Agreed. But then we're at the point, technically, we would have been in the Division 2 to start with.
I do apologize.
If you know what I mean, with regards to like looting up and gearing up and the grind. Like, we're back on the grind again now, which is obviously going to be easier this time around than when the game first launched.
Mm-hmm.
Rob, what do you want to see? Do you want to see another expansion? I guess the other thing as well, how does this hold up, do you think, to a Destiny expansion?
Yeah, they're going to do the whole Destiny thing. Seasons till the end of the year, then they'll do.
No, I'm on about like
expansion.
how does the expansion itself hold up to, like, because this is like the Forsaken of the Division, isn't it?
It's on par, dude. They've done a
Yeah?
good job. Yeah, hell yeah.
And would you want to see another expansion in the future?
Yeah,
Yeah?
but more often than a year apart.
I think 6 to 9 months.
No, 6 months.
I guess it depends what the turnaround time is as well.
Well, what's the end of the seasons? I guess that would be the end of the year, I guess.
Well, it's over the course of the year, isn't it?
Yeah. That's when we get an update.
I don't know. I'm hoping we'll see other stuff introduced at the same time, but a bit doubtful. I don't know. We might see something in September. It's kind of early to tell yet, isn't it? I can't imagine them giving it a whole other year before we get any more additional content outside of seasons.
Yeah, but the game is gonna evolve over that time.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming they're gonna introduce some more gear sets. And more story missions, I guess.
Yeah. And we got the raid in September.
Oh well, yeah, the raid in September. That's going to be a brilliant aspect. I mean, I really want to try the current raid at level 40. We just need to gather enough people.
Okay, so I guess move on to final opinions. I'm very happy. I'm glad to be back playing the Division again. I love the story, which is the first time I think I can say that in a long time for the Division. I think they did really well. I love the ending of it. It makes perfect sense. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of it and where the story goes in the future. I just want to see more of this than what we had for the last year in the Division 2. I think the last year in the Division 2, the missions were great, but as individual items, they were kind of, I don't know, kind of mediocre.
I think this is moving away from that free model.
It's probably one of the best
things they've ever done. Because free content is always
poo content.
There we go.
But I think the other thing as well is I really do hope that, this has kind of shone a light on what the Division team can do. From what they've said, they've put their heart and soul into this expansion to kind of showcase what they can do. And I hope.
I just hope there's a plan. Yeah. Like, they blamed everything on, not blamed, but like they brought another enemy in. I just hope there's a plan for her. Not just done it and gone, okay, we'll think about that later.
But this could be it could be manhunts until like September, and then we have to take on Fei Lao somewhere else. You know, we don't know. That would be cool in an expansion, but that only time's gonna tell. But
The Fei Lao expansion next year, dude.
let's hope it's not next year.
Warlords of China.
Awkward pause.
Coronavirus.
Oh God, I knew you were going to say that.
The red virus.
I just hope they have the numbers and they have the feedback to kind of move ahead with more expansions like this, because I think we need more of this for the future. I think this is really well done. But I'm a bit worried. The only thing I'm worried about now is obviously we've got Gear and Loot 2.0. You've got the Pokedex for talents and stat rolls. Where does that leave us with, our builds in 3 to 6 months time? Are we still going to be grinding for stuff, or
No.
are we at that cap point? Have we hit that wall where perhaps, the number needs to go up again to like level 50? But that's something I think we'll see perhaps in the future. Luke, final opinions on the game, on the expansion?
Really enjoyed it. Yeah, I like I said on something earlier that you asked me about last. I can't really add much that you haven't already said, to be honest. You kind of covered it all.
Is there anything else you'd want to see in this expansion?
In the next
Apart
expansion or in this expansion?
In this expansion. Was there anything you felt that was missing apart from the obvious Dark Zone and all the rest of it?
Yeah, I mean, taking this expansion as its own content, like ignoring the Dark Zone and all that sort of stuff. I mean, if I'm being ultra critical, maybe a little bit more, but if you can finish it in 6 to 10 hours, it, as good as the content was, it feels maybe a little bit short. But
depends how you play it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's human nature, isn't it? You get something, you want more. So, like I said, I'm being ultra critical because I really enjoyed my time back in New York. Really enjoyed the missions and the narrative that went with it. Really enjoyed the boss fights and the mechanics that went with that. I haven't really delved into Loot 2.0 yet, and I had my initial feelings on that.
I feel like you guys need to delve into that a little bit more before you give your opinions.
I've got some slight reservations on how the whole library thing's going to work, but I'll save that for next week because that's a different rabbit hole to jump down. But yeah, I mean, you guys know, and you wind me up. Well, you take the piss out of me for it. I'm a completionist. When it came to the first game, I got all the sound recordings and the drones and all that shit. I've enjoyed doing it again in this one. I haven't got all the audio logs yet in New York, but I've
Why not?
Done all the shade tech caches and done all this.
Why have you not done all the audio logs?
Because it was 12:30 and I needed to be awake for work at 6 a.m. Shut up, you drunken fool.
No, it's fine. I'm just glad. I think all three of us enjoyed it. I mean, yes, there's content there that we've kind of seen before, New York, returning factions and all the rest of it, but I don't feel like it was that much the same, that I felt like I was literally playing the same game again. I think it's just a more polished update coming from like the Division 1 or something like that. And
yeah,
I think it's a really good start to a continuation of what they've set in place with the Division 2. I really do.
Yeah.
Huge props to the team that has worked on it.
Yep.
I don't know how much that means, but to anyone, but I really enjoyed it. I know these guys really enjoyed it.
Really enjoyed it. Yep. Wouldn't hesitate to buy it again if we'd rolled back to next week.
No, definitely not.
If we rolled back to last week, sorry, but I'll buy it straight away.
Go
on. A DZ in New York would have been nice.
Yes.
The DZ not being OP for a couple of days would have been good as well.
Yeah, but that's a mistake, isn't it? They certainly didn't do that on purpose. I've seen quite a few of the devs on Twitter saying how disappointed they are that exploit was around and that the launch didn't go great with the echoes and stuff. So
that has kind of ruined everything for me, because the fact that
everything.
Yes, because now I'm at the point where I want to perfect my build, and the next thing to do is to go into the DZ. And now that if I go do that, I'm going to be facing people that have been in the DZ for the last 3 days and have maximized. They've all got perfect gear, which is going to make my life a lot harder than what would have been. It's akin to like saying, okay, there's an exploit where you can get the perfect gear in any game for 3 days, and then once I've taken that away, it's gone. So everyone that now has those perfect gears have an advantage on everyone else.
I kind of agree.
True.
I do agree with you, but I feel like we've done this. But I feel like to some degree we're reiterating old ground with, you know, stuff like the Dark Zone in the Division 1 or certain areas in the Division 2 where this has happened before.
Yeah,
I agree. It should have been picked up.
Literally months for people like me to catch up to people that are that've been in the Dark Zone in the last 3 months. 3 nights, sorry.
3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days, 2 days.
It's going to take literally months for me to catch up.
But you've got a perfect build in like 2 days.
I strongly disagree in the months comment, but yes, you will need to catch up.
No, it will take me months.
Fine. I disagree. It won't take you months. It really won't.
Because they've all got perfect. I don't mean just one perfect, like stat. They've all got 3 perfect stats on all their gears. Because that's what's dropping in the DZ.
But going back very quickly to your point of a Dark Zone back in New York, I completely agree.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I know it would take some work to do because of the loot boxes, the open world, you got the safe houses and the different districts.
No, it wouldn't take much work to do because...
Well, we're saying that.
It just shows how much disregard they have to the Dark Zone right now.
But for me, I would honestly, you know, the player base is kicking off. We need a new Dark Zone with X amount of people in it. I'm going to be honest.
They don't care.
No, I know, but
because that's why the system got left the way it was. They don't care about these anymore.
We'll see. We'll see if there's changes to the Dark Zone. But being honest, give me the 4 areas that we have in the expansion as one Dark Zone and put it on the server separately. I would like to see that.
Too big.
That's what she said.
Not to you, she didn't. No, too big. And to be honest with you,
not too big. That is the question.
I disagree with both of you. There's absolutely no point putting a Dark Zone in New York.
Why?
Because the Dark Zones in DC don't work. So why would you put another one in that's completely the same, just in a different place?
Because it's bigger.
Doesn't matter.
Bigger because the DCs in DC are small, spread out because of server issues and because they think that 16 players is too many. Imagine a bigger DC in New York with more players.
No, they wouldn't do it. We already know they can't do it because they've said that the consoles can't handle more players in the Dark Zone.
I don't give a shit about consoles.
Yeah, but that's why they won't do it. You can't just cut off 2/3 of the player base.
Yes, you can.
Fine. You're being completely unreasonable, and I disagree, but fine.
Anyway, that's right. Excuse me.
Oh, coronavirus.
It's coughing up along now.
I just got really scared going around freaking Asda earlier, being like, if I start coughing, then someone's gonna like kill me or something. You don't know now, do you? Right. So just kind of close out. There's been several maintenances this week. As Rob's talked about, there's issues with the Dark Zone with regards to loot quality. They're pretty high. They're being dropped, so it should be on par with challenging level mission difficulties. There was a load of issues with regards to control point interactions. There was the echoes and deltas from Monday. You had NPC interactions with what's it called? Safe houses. You had Xbox had issues. They weren't allowed on the Tuesday they weren't able to log into their already created characters and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on. It looks like the team's been working hard to kind of get those things sorted out, and You're so fucking drunk. You fuck. And that's it. Anyway, thank you.
Wait. We haven't talked about the exploit.
Too late. I asked you. Now it's too late.
When did you ask me?
A minute ago.
Okay.
I win. Anyway, Roberts. In your best slur possible.
Take a deep breath for this. This is going to be hard work.
Careful, that's a lot of oxygen going into your system right now.
You can find us, shut the fuck up, at SITREP Radio on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Send any questions or feedback for the show to sitrepradiocom.
SITREPRadioPod@gmail.com.
Or you can find us on Discord. The link is in the low notes. We want to.
Can we give him a huge thumbs down this week?
We want to hear
We want to hear your thoughts.
We want to.
He's done, Luke. He's done.
We want to hear your thoughts of the news that we'd covered. Please leave a comment. Thank you.
He sounds like he's having a stroke or something.
Luke,
I'm really not sure he's okay, to be honest.
That was hard, dude.
Wow. I'm not sure I can follow that.
I think that's like the worst you've ever done it.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Achievement unlocked. You drunken mess.
Yeah, if you've listened closely to this show, you would have noticed that Rob has slowly drunk what? What have you drunk, Rob? What is your beverage of choice tonight? A bottle of wine?
Yeah.
Over the course of the last... Bear in mind, you were already drinking before we started recording. So over the last, 2 hours, you've slowly deteriorated into...
madness.
I wouldn't say madness.
I would. Look at him. Just look at him.
Someone that has very difficulty...
Do you know what? We should stop talking and get this done quick, because what's going to happen is we're going to have to try and remind Cheryl how to save his recording like we had to before.
That's a good point, yeah.
Please leave a review of the show using the podcast app of your choice. We really do enjoy reading them all. The feedback is excellent, and at the end of the day, it does actually help other people to find our show. Why the fuck they'd want to, I don't know, but still. If you listen all the way to the very end of this podcast, you will hear all the juicy details about the other awesome shows that are available on the Mash Those Buttons network. Thank you.
And I gotta be honest, I think that's every fucking week. If you listen all the way to the end of this podcast every week, or in general, thank you. Yeah. It is appreciated that anyone would get this far. We do live stream as often as we can. I'll be honest, I didn't want to spoil anything at all, so I haven't streamed anything this week. But if you are interested in dropping by and chatting with us whilst we play The Division and some other games, you can find us all over at twitch.tv/SITREP Radio. We've been SITREP Radio. Huge thank you to everyone for, making it all the way to the end of this podcast and listening to our thoughts on the Warlords of New York expansion. That's it from us this week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Sequence complete. Security protocols deactivated. Server data replaced and CPU destroyed. Terminating connection in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction